G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Brian here. We're continuing on our journey. I think it's going to be like 7 days or 7 episodes of Nikka Taketsuru Pure Malt, and we're now going to move on to the Age Statement. It was released around 2021 of the Taketsuru. So no Age Statement, again 43% like the previous version, which I still have here. If I see another bottle around, I'll probably grab 1 or 2 of those. I think I can still get them here, but very different, quite the change from the one with the black and gold label. So let's kick off. In Australia, these cost around the 140 to 150 Australian dollars, so around 100 to 110 US, along those lines. So they're pretty exy. Well, I can guarantee you that this to me is really at that level of, at least here in Australia, where we pay a lot of money for alcohol. So it's a bit of apples and oranges because we pay so much more anyway, but how does this compare to what I could buy for maybe a $100 12-year-old Scottish whiskey that we get here? And yes, that's the sort of money we pay here. It's right on there. So let's find out how I felt about the later version. Definitely the blending is totally different casks. Let's go. So on the nose I got a light earthy peat, nutmeg, wet wool, cacao powder, so that's a bit of a Nikka thing, pears, white peaches, red apple skins, and licorice root. And there's a savoury note with water added. On the palate, fermented pears and apples. So it's a bit different. It's more like I won't say it's like your Glenlivet, Glenfiddich Space Cider, but you can sell white peaches, apples, pears. I think even on the Glenfiddich ad that they do here now, they have those orchard fruits kind of falling down like apples and pears as one of their flavour profiles. Vanilla, chili flakes, white oak, nutmeg, salt, the licorice root, butter and icing sugar. Totally different beast to the original version. I can't even say the original version was the original. Well, they never used to. Well, it was because it was a no age statement. Before then, we only had age statements in the Taketsuru range. So back in the day, decade ago, these ones didn't even exist. They didn't have no age statements. They just had like 12, 17, 21, then eventually 25 and the 35. Well, the 25 came later, but the 35 was always kind of around, but it was all age statements back in the day. Some orange sherbet. Was that one of those with water added? It was one of those Austin Powers films. Orange sherbet, medium bodied. Okay, on the finish I'm getting nutmeg, the cacao powder, which is kind of what I relate again to some Nikka whiskies, almonds, licorice root, butter beans and ash, touch of lemon and some juicy oranges with water added. So let's get down to the last word. Now you can go back and check out the older version, see how it's changed, and remember the notes I did for the older version were a while back, but things are kind of on par now. But for this newer version, a decent whiskey improves a month or so after opening and the fill level drops. So one of the things you'll hear about whiskey in general is people always go, oh well, you can't have too much oxygen in there. When they go down, they're all going to go flat. Well, I've only had that happen about 4 times in my life, especially despite people complaining about screw caps and they want to hear the sound of a cork. Corks are crap compared to a great screw cap. screw crap. A lot of people will be going, yeah, that's right. Screw cap. I mean, the way these, I don't know if you can hear that. The thread and the tightness of the thread on these things will keep your whiskies safe from any of that oxidisation better than any cork will. The amount of good whiskies I've had where corks are destroyed and just dropped in there even before I'm opening are unbelievable. So I'm not this big advocate for corks, but anyway, and or the fact that if there's a bit of oxygen even in the half level, 25%, it's going to kill your whiskey. I think the majority of whiskies I have improve after opening and the fill level goes down and there's a bit of oxygen in the bottle. My experience. But I said, not really a patch on the previous version with the black and gold label. I said, I suspect the main reason is a dearth of sherry cask matured whiskies at Nikka's distilleries. They all got used up, so they're trying to really run around trying to find stuff. Remember, there's no age statement whiskey, so we've got young whiskey. We may have used up a lot of the cask with sherry in it. We've got deeper, richer flavours. In fact, it seems to me that there's no sherry cask whiskey in this blend whatsoever. So I think the older version had a far wider cask selection and could bring in more elements. And the older version was much richer and rounder. And I said, and I'll say it again, if you can get your hands on the older version, this one here, if you see it around, it's gold, seriously. Grab it. It's great. You won't regret it. By all means, try the newer version. It's maybe all you can get now. But and you won't know any difference if it's all you can get now. You really won't know the difference now because you wouldn't be able to compare it. But just my 2 cents for the same money, because we're paying the same money for the new one. I'll probably get another bottle of the newer one down the track, see if it's changed again. Yeah, so I said if you can still get your hands on the older version, run, don't walk to stock up. So this newer version with the whitish label gave 82 out of 100. Gave the older version 87 out of 100. It's right in that 87, 88 mark to my taste. So anyway, that's where we're up to for the No Age Statement Nikka Taketsurus. Next up, we're going to talk about the 12-year-old and see how that fares against even these two of the No Age Statements. So, Kanpai guys, take care. See you when I talk about the Taketsuru 12-year-old in the next video. Bye for now.